been so consistent over the years, and it's just been an amazing conference. So officially, this morning, on behalf of the founders, the co-founder, we want to say welcome to Edves Catalyst 2023.
We decided to have a team this year called Audacious because the idea is that against all odds, we still want to improve education delivery. We still want the students to have the best. We still want to do everything that needs to be done, making sure that we challenge ourselves with knowledge, new notion on how to improve learning and help the students in Africa.
We want to create a path for future of education in Africa, and we're glad that you're part of this program today.
And so we try to live out social responsibility. Rather than tell them do this, we show them how we do it. And by doing it, we show them how you get from here to here.
In order to prepare the next generation of innovators, we really have to be engaging students differently.
I think there's a deficit of trust. That's the first thing between the public and the private educators. That has to be addressed if anything is going to change.
It's quite clear that funding is a major issue.
Funding schools in modern day is to begin to engage in quality collaborations with international organizations, NGO, and the like.
So I want to counsel us all. Let's find ways by which we work and bridge this gap by appreciating the fact that there's talent, there's knowledge, there are skills in both sectors.
Parent needs to come to the realization that we are working together, and it is at the long run in the benefit of the children.
So parents should find a way to ensure that the children at home are actually engaged in practicing. Leveraging on technology. For example, Edvest has where parents could sign up their kids and they can do learning assessment.
Young people learn so that we can show them the skills and tools on how to navigate life.
What we want to see in this nation
and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Hello everyone, welcome to the 8th edition of Edves Catalyst 2024. My name is Anita Dan and with me is
Rejoice Oluoni.
And the theme for this year at Catalyst is
Velocity with AI. So over the years, Edvest has brought to your table a lot of interesting themes that would help you to improve your school's learning outcomes. And of course, this year would not be going lower, and this year we'll be coming up with AI, as we said, velocity with AI. And coming up next
is our co-founders, Mr. Dimeji Falana and Mr. Dari Adebayo,
giving us the welcoming speech, of course.
Of course.
Hello, you're welcome to Edves Catalyst 2024 once again. We are very happy to have the 8th edition. It's been 8 years already. I can remember 2017 when we started this in Ibadan.
Yeah.
This year, the theme is Velocity with AI, and this resonates with our vision and our purpose for being a company that is reimagining education and make learning easy for students, educators, the school leaders, parents, and the community at large in private sector and public sector across Africa. This vision is what has been driving our long-term objectives, and Edves Catalyst 2024 connects with the vision directly. And this is just to continue the work that we have started. And I believe Dari has a lot to discuss about what will be happening today and tomorrow, which I believe is not going to end tomorrow. The velocity continues, because when we say velocity, it's actually about speed in a particular direction.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Welcome once again to Edves Catalyst 2024. Like Dimeji has mentioned, we'll be focusing on AI in this edition of Edves Catalyst, and we'll be seeing how AI would accelerate our learning outcomes and improve, education delivery across schools. In the next 2 days, we'll be having insightful conversations, workshop, panel discussions, and all of this is to see how we can have actionable solutions that will address the critical learning and challenges faced by students and educators. So we have different sessions created for this year's Edves Catalyst around foundational learning, digital pedagogy, and sustainable educational initiatives. So we'd like you to maximize Edves Catalyst 2024. Make sure that you network. Even as we'll be online today, you can network. Tomorrow is a physical event. Please network with speakers, network with peers, network with teachers and with parents. And we're sure that together we can improve learning outcomes in schools across Africa. Welcome once again to Edves Catalyst 2024.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No, I've not gone like this. Yes, it's okay. Hold on.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome again to Edves Catalyst 2024. I am so excited to be here, and it's a pleasure to discuss a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, the potential for transforming education through the velocity with AI and accelerated learning. I'm excited to spend the next 2 days with you all, with this community, to learn together and prepare us and the entire African diaspora with the velocity of learning with AI. But to get us started, let me introduce myself. My name is Carter Martin, and I'm an educator. I've spent the past 15 years serving in education as a teacher, as a leader, as a coach, and I'm currently the founder of an ed tech company called IEP&Me. We support schools with the training and resources needed to support educators with special education and helping diverse learners personalize their experience and individualize their experience. I also have the privilege to work with school leaders to prepare them for the future of education, facilitating professional learning experiences. One topic that's been coming up a ton lately is artificial intelligence, AI, and how can we best support schools around the globe with infusing artificial intelligence into our education system to support learners. So let's talk a little bit about where we are with the African learning crisis. Education around the world is facing many similar challenges, but the impact has been very significant on the African continent. From resource constraints, insufficient funding, class sizes, teacher shortage, varied learning needs, we've needed a lot of support to help students to get where they need to be. And after the pandemic, we saw learning loss and gaps that can continue to impact our students today. So today, I want us to consider how can AI support teaching and learning without replacing the curriculum or the teacher's expertise. We're in a learning crisis, and our discussion will focus on how we can address some of these challenges, not again by replacing our curriculum, but thinking about the invaluable expertise that our teachers provide day in and day out to enhance the learning and teaching experience. So let's start with the cornerstone, that is education, our teachers. Before I continue, I would love to take a moment just to show gratitude for all the educators out there, all the teachers who are joining us right now. You are valued, you are appreciated, you are loved, and thank you so much for the work that you do. It's invaluable, and no, AI robots aren't going to take over your job. AI is here to support you and bring the knowledge that you have to life in different ways. I think it's important that we remember that teachers are irreplaceable. They have unique experiences and lived experiences and unique expertise. They understand students' needs based off this experience and adapt teaching methods to really address what each individual needs. Teachers are also critical thinkers and decision makers. They analyze student performance. They use those qualitative measures to understand how can we make the best decisions for students and get students to where they need to be in their futures. We need to use these critical thinkers and teachers to adapt and apply these new education tools to really foster learning. Many people have concerns about AI, but it's important to know that AI should empower teachers, not replace them. It's here to support. AI intelligence gives our good teachers the opportunity to become great, and that's something to celebrate, not fear. So let's look at what this might look like in practice. So first, let's think about the benefits for teachers. Again, AI enhances, not replaces traditional teaching methods. So one thing that AI has the potential to do is provide us with tools that increase our efficiencies with some administrative tasks, paperwork, things we need to write down. How can we do that in a more efficient way so we can get back to teaching? Artificial intelligence tools can also help with the personalization of learning for experiences with our students, which I'm excited to talk more about tomorrow, and also give us data-driven insights to inform teaching strategies. Is this the best strategy? Is there another one? How can we best go about getting students to reach that high level of rigor in the way that makes the most sense based on the data that we have? It also helps us with the personalized path, making learning relevant and relatable to the daily lives and interests of the students. That's something that can take a lot of time out of a teacher's day. And we want to leverage these tools to figure out how can we create lesson planning in a more seamless way? How can we take our curriculum and adapt it for the realities of where our students are, the realities of the world around them, and to give them a larger sense of the global context? This can save teachers invaluable time so we can really use the skills that they have, that lived experience and that expertise to really do what we need to do. Now let's think a little bit about accelerated learning, because I think that's one of the most exciting aspects of artificial intelligence. Some tools using artificial intelligence can provide students with instant feedback and additional resources tailored to their individual learning styles for paces. For instance, some tools can simplify or complexify text to match students' reading levels to ensure that all students across grade level can reach the concepts. Some tools also create additional content to give students extra opportunities with the learning, even if the teacher may have only prepared one or two themselves. This adaptive and personalized approach can lead to significant improvements in learning outcomes. And as we've seen in various case studies around the world, the importance of culturally relevant and targeted instruction does result in strong student outcomes. But let's bring it back to our teachers, because our teachers are really, really important in this process. To successfully integrate AI into our classrooms, we must include teachers and their voice in the process. Let's refer momentarily back to the idea of teacher autonomy. Teacher autonomy and teacher advocacy is a really important thing, and we need to think about how can we maintain the curriculum, use the curriculum and the resources that are provided to us, but also give teachers the autonomy to do what's best for students? Think, are your teachers simply going through the motion of the curriculum, or do they really feel empowered to use tools like the AI tools that are coming out and other technologies to do what's best for students? If you're hoping for the latter, this means providing them with professional development and training on how to use AI tools effectively to make their lives more efficient and to make the pedagogy stronger. Teachers also serve as the interpreters of any AI-produced data, needing to apply their own judgment to enhance the experience to make the best decisions for their students. Some tools create those interactive lesson plans, and in order to leverage the AI effectively, to make sure that it is really what is best, we need to make sure we upskill our teachers on how to best identify, on how to use the tools, and utilize the tools to support students in the most efficient way. Thinking more about the data utilization, there's quantitative data and qualitative data. There's a lot of evidence that artificial intelligence will be able to support us with quantitative data. There's a ton of efficiencies in the data processing, a lot of precision and accuracy around the mathematics required, and a lot of predictive analysis that can come from the generative tools to support us in using that quantitative data to make plans for our students. However, we still need our teachers who are best positioned for some of the qualitative data analysis. Teachers have the contextual understanding. Where are we and where do we need to be in our school with these students in this moment? They also have emotional insight. How are students feeling the day of the test? What's the climate in my state or in my school? And also that adaptive judgment to know, when is the assessment really, really important for what's happening in school, or when is there another data point that may be important for the planning process? So it's important that we use data alongside artificial intelligence so that the AI can do some of the processes really, really quickly, and we can spend our time doing the qualitative work that we're best positioned to do as educators. The two big things we want to think about with accelerated learning is speed and direction. Personalized path and adaptive content at a fast pace. AI guides what to learn and how to apply it in a way that's just a bit quicker than we all can as educators spending time to do lesson plans. AI can also support with the direction that we're headed. How can we get relevant topics and skills to our students in our schools? How can we balance a global context and a local relevance? And how can we ensure that teachers have that same level of intelligence and understanding of the global context and local relevance to be able to pass it along to our schools? And combining those two things will lead to huge efficiencies in learning and success for our students. When we think about Nigeria, other parts of Africa, and for all of us across the African diaspora, it's really important to note that AI is really making a difference. Schools are using AI to close the information access gap, enhance learning, and improve academic outcomes. These success stories coming from companies like Edvest, companies like IEP&Me, and many others show that with the right implementation, AI can significantly impact education. Raising students' awareness, providing them access to the tools and equitable amounts of education that students across the globe are accessing is the great way to take new learnings to propel our students forward in their educational journeys. So, as I close, our key takeaways from today, make sure that we know that teachers remain flexible, but AI enhances their effectiveness. Know that we need to embrace AI as a tool for educational improvement. It's not something for us to fear or to worry about. It's something that is really going to help close some of the access and educational gaps that we've seen historically. And to be sure to collaborate, invest in training, learn more, and continuously refine technology and educator capacity to use these tools to support us day in and day out. AI has the potential to significantly impact the speed and direction of learning for our students across the continent. And I want to thank you all for listening today. I'm so excited to hear from the many speakers this week about artificial intelligence. I am excited to hear about this tool. I'm excited to hear about curriculum. I'm excited to hear about all the technology, but it's essential to remember that the human touch is invaluable and our dedicated teachers will remain irreplaceable. Let us all embrace AI to support our students into success. I want to thank you all for listening today. I'm excited to meet you all tomorrow in person, and have a great rest of your day.
what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome again to this new session. It is Edves Catalyst 2024. We're very excited to be here. My name is Daniel Edimu, and I have here with me the group head of digital banking. Her name is Chinyere Eke. She is with Globus Bank. You're welcome, Chinyere.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone.
So, Chinyere, we'll be talking about how banking supports education. So I would like to begin with the experiences that a lot of schools have had. It's bad debts, basically. Parents send their children to schools, they're unable to make payments when it's due. The child leaves the school and moves to another school. What advice do you have for schools to prepare for bad debt, basically?
All right, thank you for that question. Actually, we wouldn't say that we are not aware that a lot of schools are having this issue, and I will say that that is one of the reasons why, as Globus Bank, we are partnering with Edvest today to take care of some of these issues that schools are having. But then, just like you asked,
yes, we
need to advise schools what are those steps they need to take, to be able to handle all these bad debts. We know sometimes actually it's as if that the parents, they just want to owe. But maybe because the processes are not right. And that is why we need to look at the processes that schools are putting in place to be able to manage such situations. You understand? So one of the things that we have to look at is this. When you are giving the parents, bills to pay, how do you communicate that to them? Is it that maybe at the end of the term or at the end of the session, you just print out a letter and send to them? Sometimes, could you imagine that sometimes the students don't even hand it over to their parents? So imagine that situation that you give a parent just a letter to the student and he doesn't give it to his father or his mother. At the end of the day, the parent may not even know how much the bill is. It might be that the bill has even been increased. Meanwhile, they are making provisions for how much they paid in the last session, whereas it has increased. At that time, considering that the economic situation of the land, you understand? So it means that the parents, they need to plan themselves very well. And for them to be able to plan themselves very well, you need to clearly communicate that bill to the parents. So how do you communicate the bill? Today, we are preaching velocity AI, right? We are preaching digital education. So that is why we are saying today, the most important thing or the best thing that should happen is to digitalize that. How to be in very digital means. It means that the student gives it to the parent or not, the parent will be able to access it digitally. The parent will be able to access it digitally, and there is you can't give an excuse that you've lost the bill. You can't give that excuse because digitally it has been communicated to you. At every point in time, you can still go back to the platform, log on, and you see the bill that has been given to your child. That is one. Secondly, there has also been situations where the school does not clearly communicate how much the bills are and what the bills are for. You can't just dish out bills to parents without letting them know what exactly they are paying for. Do you understand? So by the time you communicate that, it has to be clear, it has to be plain, and then the parents will be able to accept this and prepare themselves to be able to make the payment. So that's why we're saying first, communicate digitally. Secondly, it has to be clear. What are they paying for? And thirdly, another thing we found out as well is that one of the reasons why it seems as if that parents are owing some debts is because we found out that a lot of schools, they insist that payments must be made in bulk. And so when parents need to make the payment in bulk, considering that not all parents earn the same income, and the income flow does not come regularly. And so if you expect that parents must make the payment in bulk, it means that they have to continue to wait until they gather that money before they can make that deposit into the bank. And why those two schools most times request that parents must make payments in bulk is because of reconciliation issues. Because of reconciliation issues, and they request that parents must make direct payments into the account. As you're making direct payment into the account, it will be difficult for them to track who paid what and when was it paid, which student paid what. Sometimes there's truncation in the narration field in the bank statement. And so with that truncation that you have, it becomes a problem for you to even sort all that. Imagine where a student say, okay, you can pay any amount you have by directly transferring money into the account, and then you experience that truncation. It becomes a problem because to reconcile that is an issue. And like I said, that is why we are also partnering with Edvest today, because we are bringing something on the table, right, that will be able to enable the schools to collect fees periodically depending on how parents can make this money available, as well as taking care of these reconciliation issues that schools are having when they expect that parents should make payment in bulk. So what am I saying in a nutshell? Payments can still be made in bits, depending on how the parents receive their money, and the reconciliation issue can still be taken care of. As time goes on, we'll get to that point and talk that more. Thank you.
Thank you, Chinere. Thank you for that. So talking about bad debts and parents not being able to pay on time, potentially parents would like to take some loan at some point, and even schools would like to maybe take loans to buy a lot of things. We know how finance is a very key factor in how schools are run. Is there a particular idea, strategy that Global Bank has in place for schools? What is loan readiness for a school? What does a school need to do to be loan ready? We know how hard it is to get a loan from a bank. They will ask you for a lot of documents that may throw you off as a small business. So what are the readiness tactics you think a school should put in place for them to be able to ask your bank?
Okay, just like what I mentioned earlier, we're talking about digital education, right? So imagine where a school now digitally collects fees. It means that the payment history of the school fees payment made can digitally be presented to the bank. So it means that they can organize their payment, not what happens today. In some schools today, they still collect cash. As when you collect cash, you might not be able to, give accurate report of the funds that are collected, But then, if you are able to collect your fees digitally, so you have to manage the collection of fees, that digital means it helps you to have a concise report that you can make available to the bank. Remember that one of the things that bank will always look at when you are asking for loan, bank wants to see your statement of account. Bank wants to see how you're receiving your inflows into the account. Another thing that is very important that bank looks at is how do you manage your operations. In some cases today, you see that sometimes you want to make payment for something, you can just release cash, and that cash is not documented. It is expected that all your inflows, all your expenses are documented via your release cash. Even if you release cash, it has to maybe via petty cash, which must be reconciled again with your statement of account. So that statement of account is very important. And I also wanted to say something else about operational efficiency. How do you run your business? How do you run your business in such a way that you don't allow unnecessary expenses? Because sometimes, let me tell you the truth, it does not necessarily mean that it's everything you want to do in school that you really need a loan for. Sometimes it's because of operational lapses. That's why you are not able to meet those financial needs of the school. But if you are able to harness your operational service, operations of your school, all those areas of unnecessary expenditure, you can take care of it, and you may not even need loan at that time. But peradventure, you really need a loan. I talked about your statement of account. All your income, all your expenses must be duly captured in your statement. And again, how is your corporate governance? Who manages your school? Is it that you have any person on board? No, you must carefully choose who you bring on board, because the character of the people that are on board also determines whether you'll be able to access the you are looking for. The character of the people you have on your board is also important. That it is not only educators that you have to bring on board. Remember, running a school is also running a business. So you need somebody that is business minded in your board. You need people that have financial knowledge in your board for you to be able to put together all that is required for you to access the loan. Again, considering the amount of loan that you're looking for, sometimes there might be need for collateral. So it's important that as you're looking forward to expansion, also think about ensuring that you have certain assets, especially building your school building belonging to the school. So it's also important. But notwithstanding, there are other loan opportunities that you can have. Working capital, you can also have financial support for you to buy your buses, to carry your student and all. But most importantly, like I said earlier, your financial statement must be clear, right? Your operations of your school must be very efficient, and the people you bring on board, very important. You must have a mix of people from different backgrounds. That will also help you in that area. Thank you.
Thank you, Chinyere. Thank you for that very elaborate response. I would like to get your thoughts on FX fluctuations. We know that FX is a situation today, right? It's a phenomenon that is in anyone's control to some extent. What ideas can you suggest to schools how to mitigate this challenge of FX? A lot of schools are buying things from abroad, they're importing hardware, they have transactions going on, internationally, and FX is a situation. What advice do you have around that for schools?
You agree with me that the issue of FX is a general problem, especially in this location, right? But then we can't say that we will stop doing business because we have FX issues. But first and foremost, I would rather advise, as much as possible, if we can get some of those things locally, if you can source some of those assets that we're looking for locally, it will help us to reduce the dependence on FX. But where we most have to source for them abroad, it means that, one, you must learn to plan yourself very well. Now, for example, a school that wants to purchase certain assets in year 2025, by year 2024, you must have planned yourself to make available such funds. That means that not every fund you receive that you must spend. No, you must make plans that asset you want to purchase in 2025, you have started today to make plans. That it will not be kind of something that just flowing out of nowhere, and it's a decision that you just want to make on the go just like that. It's something you have to plan within a certain period of time to be able to take care of that. But again, there are certain tools anyway that the bank is putting in place to take care of this FX, to take care of risks around FX fluctuations. But for now, I'm not going to speak to that. I would rather say that for schools that have need for such, we have various tools in place in the bank, in Global's Bank. So if you reach out to us, we'll be able to share with you. Because why I'm putting it that way is because there are different organizations with different needs, and it's not one size fits all. So if I start now to talk about all that, it will take a lot of our time. So the best thing is, if you have need of that, come to us in Global's Bank. We have our experts that will sit with you, advise you, and give you the best tool that will fit your needs. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Henry. One last one. I would like to know, talking about Global's Bank now, can you share one or two products that the bank is willing to, share with schools? One or two products that you have designed to support schools in Nigeria?
All right. Thank you very much. At this time, I'm going to talk about one of the solutions that we have put together, and good, I think we're also working with Edvest to be able to bring this on board. Yeah, so one of the solutions that we're talking about, remember, when I talked about taking care of bad loans, I said digitize collections. And how do you digitize this collection? Now, that is why we have put together this solution that will enable a school to have what we call unique accounts for each student. So for that unique account that you are giving to each student, it means that you don't necessarily need to start giving the parents the school general account or operational account for their collection, which of course causes a lot of reconciliation issues. But we have put together, we built a solution that where the school can generate a unique account for each student, where every parent that wants to make payment for his or her child or her ward, can make payment directly into that account. And that account, of course, will not hold the fund. It's just like a pass-through account to help you manage your reconciliations, to help you manage the balances of the payments made, to help you manage your financial statement as well. So that unique account is one of the solutions that we have put together. Students can make payments into that unique account, and then the accounts of the school can be credited, and it will take care of all these issues that we have listed earlier.
Thank you, Cherry.
Thank you.
Yes. So on the last note, I would like to know what are the things that schools need to do for them to build trust with the bank, the banking sector and the school's education sector. What do we need to do as school owners to build the trust so that we can access loans, we can access funds, we can access your support?
Okay, so for schools, I think I've made mention of some of the things that they need to put in place. And like I said, your financial statement is very important. How do you manage your finances? How do you document all the transactions that you carry on? And it must be clear. Your expenses must be clear. And another thing, credibility of the bank, of the school, is very important. Remember that if you are owing a bank, as long as Nigeria financial store is concerned, if you are owing not just a bank, if you are owing any loan company or a bank or any financial house, remember, you cannot go free because it is being reported on a central database. So it's important that every school that takes a loan must make sure that their loans are cleared. You can't say that you can take a loan from one bank and then you run to another bank to pick up a loan. It's clear on the database. You can't run away from it. So you must be clear. Your credibility must be tight so that there is nothing that can be held against you when you are seeking for loan. And again, I talked about collateral. There are sometimes that there must be need for collateral for you to be able to access loan. And that's why I said, even for starters, it's important that you start now to begin to put together, plan towards having your own collateral. Even if you don't have a collateral, as the school itself, the promoters of the school can as well be able to provide the collateral that can be used to secure the loan that you're seeking for. And again, it's important to be clear on what exactly you want to use that loan for. There are sometimes that schools might come to bank that they want to seek for a loan, but unfortunately they are not explicit, they are not clear. The bank cannot define what exactly that loan amount you're looking for is meant for. So it's important that it's very clear, no ambiguity, so that when the bank reads your proposal, they will be able to advance the loan that you're seeking for. And I talked about financial statement, very important. Your transactions, whether it's an income or an expense, must be duly documented. And who are the promoters of the school? Their credibility also, their character also, are things that the bank will look into. And remember, if you are a promoter of the school and you are owing somewhere or you have a bad debt somewhere, it can also affect your school. So all these things must be looked into, and then with that, it will make you credit worthy to any bank, especially Global's bank that you are approaching for the loan.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Cherry. It's been very nice speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. We've come to the end of this conversation. I've been speaking with Chinyere Tuni Eke. She is the head of digital banking at Global's Bank. My name once again is Daniel Etimu. Continue to enjoy Edves Catalyst 2024. Bye.
Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change. Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change. Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change. Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead.
Hello, my name is Kome Filize-Olage and I'm the CEO of FSM Management Services. We are into recruitment and outsourcing of staff to businesses. Take a look at this.
Outsourcing. We provide business process services for your business to allow you focus on what is important, increasing business income. Collaboration with our clients. HR advisory. We provide HR advice and guidance on HR issues, offering support and expertise, background and criminal check. We verify the authenticity of the candidates we deploy to our clients. Criminal history. Address verification. Guarantor verification. Recruitment. We recruit personnel for you. Cleaning services. We help our clients to keep their environment clean. Logistics. We deploy dispatch services to deliver your packages, documents, etc. all over the nation. Health tech. We have collaborated with only health tech HMO organizations to serve our clients even better.
Our head office is located at +668 Amodu Tijani Close off Sanusi Fafuma, Victoria Island. We also have our branches in Enugu, Port Harcourt, and in Abuja. Our contact is on the screen. We look forward to hearing from you. Hello.
Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change.
This used to be me. Not anymore. With Edvest, I can oversee and access all my school records from any part of the world. From a single dashboard, I track enrollments, monitor e-learning activities from homework uploaded to video lessons shared, as well as e-notes and CBT. I view payments inflow at a glance, monitor performance, and track attendance. Running a paperless school and reducing operational costs is possible with Edvest. Edvest CBT makes conducting school exams seamless, both online and on the school premises. It gets better. Parents can monitor their children's performance and pay fees. Amazingly, the days of being owed by parents are over. Parents can access school fees loan and you get paid in full. Students have access to assignments, video lessons, e-notes, quizzes, virtual classes, and over 160 math and science simulations. Beyond all this is Edvest's amazing support. It is top-notch. Over 1,300 schools across 10 countries in Africa use and love Edvest today. To see a free demo, log on to www.edvest.net/free demo. Use Edvest today. This used to be me. Not anymore. With Edvest, I can oversee and access all my school records from any part of the world. From a single dashboard, I track enrollments, monitor e-learning activities from homework uploaded to video lessons shared, as well as e-notes and CBT. I view payments inflow at a glance, monitor performance, and track attendance. Running a paperless school and reducing operational costs is possible with Edvest. Edvest CBT makes conducting school exams seamless, both online and on the school premises. It gets better. Parents can monitor their children's performance and pay fees. Amazingly, the days of being owed by parents are over. Parents can access school fees loan and you get paid in full. Students have access to assignments, video lessons, e-notes, quizzes, virtual classes, and over 160 math and science simulations. Beyond all this is Edvest's amazing support. It is top-notch. Over 1,300 schools across 10 countries in Africa use and love Edvest today. To see a free demo, log on to www.edvest.net/free demo. Use Edvest today. This used to be me. Not anymore. With Edvest, I can oversee and access all my school records from any part of the world. From a single dashboard, I track enrollments, monitor e-learning activities from homework uploaded to video lessons shared, as well as e-notes and CBT. I view payments inflow at a glance, monitor performance, and track attendance. Running a paperless school and reducing operational costs is possible with Edvest. Edvest CBT makes conducting school exams seamless, both online and on the school premises. It gets better. Parents can monitor their children's performance and pay fees. Amazingly, the days of being owed by parents are over. Parents can access school fees loan and you get paid in full. Students have access to assignments, video lessons, e-notes, quizzes, virtual classes, and over 160 math and science simulations. Beyond all this is Edvest's amazing support. It is top-notch. Over 1,300 schools across 10 countries in Africa use and love Edvest today. To see a free demo, log on to www.edvest.net/free demo. Use Edvest today.
Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank. Lead the change.
Good day, everyone. My name is Ligali Ayorinde, and I'm a mathematics teacher. I've been teaching for the past 10 years. Welcome once again to Edves Catalyst 2024. I'll be talking about accelerated foundational learning for mathematics on early childhood education. And today's our focus will be on how to develop pre-math skills using play-based and interactive learning strategy. I believe by the end of this session, you would be able to learn one or two things on play-based learning strategies, what pre-math skills are, and the importance of building a strong foundation in mathematics. I'll start with my personal experience. I remember that as an early educator, my early years as an educator, I had a student whose name was Daniel. Daniel struggled with recognizing numbers and counting, but every traditional means didn't work on Daniel. So I had to employ the play-based learning and interactive teaching. And within few months, how did I do that? I implemented number matching. So Daniel had to have numbers written. Daniel would go across and then recognize those numbers, had to touch it. And then we also implemented the issue of playing with stones. So we bring in stones, building blocks. Daniel will have to count with these blocks. And even in all activities of the day, climbing stairs, writing, counting the number of bags in the bag in the school or in the classroom. And we were able to see that within few months, Daniel's enthusiasm and understanding of mathematics improved significantly. I also had another child whose name was Tunde for the purpose of this presentation. Tunde was a quiet child. He was reserved. And so working with him was kind of difficult because you would not know what he had in mind. So I had to meet with the parents and with school. We communicated with the parents. We inquired about what Tunde liked. And then we were able to know that he loved this particular cartoon, dinosaur. Okay, we decided to get toys, figurines on that. And immediately we brought it to the class. Tunde, who was usually a very quiet student, became excited. We showed him I brought out the figurines and I told him to come and count. He stood up and started counting, and that was how we were able to capture his interest. Now, these two experiences on using play-based method instead of traditional method reaffirmed my belief that play-based method is a very good learning strategy that can help a child understand mathematics better. Now, we're talking about the pre-math skill. What's a pre-math skill? Pre-math skills are the building blocks for future mathematical understanding. And these skills are number sense. Number sense is a foundation for numbers and numeration in mathematics. Another skill is the pattern recognition, which is a foundation for algebra. Then the spatial awareness talks about shapes, is a foundation for geometry, and of course, basic problem solving skills. So these skills, developing these skills early set the stage for a more complex mathematical concept and also foster a positive attitude towards mathematics. The importance of pre-math skills, mentioned that. Now, the best approach, remember we are talking about the interactive and the play-based learning. So what is the best approach we can implement using interactive and play-based learning? Before I talk about the approaches and the play-based learning, the strategies, I just want to tell you that play-based learning transforms abstract concepts into tangible experiences. When you write 1 plus 1 on the board, that's an abstract. But if you bring one toy and another toy and tell the child to count to 2 objects in your hand, then that is what you are bringing in the abstract concept into tangible experience. Let's know that children learn best when they are engaged, when they are having fun, and when they are curious. So the first method I'll be talking about is creating a stimulating learning environment. How do we do this? Design our classrooms to be rich with mathematical stimuli. We have so many. We can use posters, we can use manipulatives, we can use so many materials we can get online. You can get them online. And then we should also ensure that learning materials are easily accessible to children. I mentioned building blocks. You can use materials like building blocks, like puzzles. Put them in a place where a child can have easy access to it in case the child wants to learn independently. And we can also implement incorporating play-based activities. That is another effective early childhood program. And what do you mean by that? We can introduce counting games. Counting games shouldn't end with writing strokes and then tell the child to count 5 strokes and 3 strokes. Remember, we said play-based learning has to do with bringing in abstract concepts into tangible experiences. So we can use counting games, use things like building blocks. You can even use natural things, what we have around us, like leaves, stones, to help the child develop the skills, counting skills. Then pattern recognition is also part of the play-based activities a child can learn using building blocks. Unfortunately, I wanted to come with one today, but I could not get one. So pattern recognition is also very key. And then spatial awareness. I have examples of the pattern block, and you can see that on the screen. So you can have something like this. This pattern block, you have so many shapes here. There's this triangle, we have the cuboids, we have the trapeziums, we have shapes in forms of hexagon, all patterns and shapes in mathematics. So something like this, you can use that to teach a child how to count. So when you teach a child how to count, number one is learning colors. There are so many, they are colorful. They are colorful. So there are so many colors here. Then a child is also in a way learning shapes, because we have so many shapes here. Like I mentioned before, the triangles, the hexagons, and so many shapes in the pattern blocks. And then you can also use fraction ties to teach fraction. So these are examples of what you can have in your classroom as mathematics stimuli. So when the child enters, the class is very colorful, is seeing things that is going to stimulate the brain and help the child to learn mathematical concepts easily. So we have examples of other posters you can have in the class. You have these magnetic numbers, then examples of posters you can have around your class, and so many of these are things you can get online and then put them in the classroom to create a very good and interactive environment for a child to learn best. Remember, children learn best when they are having fun and when they are curious. Okay, I wanted to demonstrate using building blocks, and like I said, I couldn't get one, but we can teach a child how to count using building blocks. So the objective is teaching counting, pattern recognition, and spatial awareness, which I mentioned when the picture of the building blocks were projected. So the materials needed is just get building blocks of various colors and sizes, and ask students to build towers with specific number of blocks. So you can tell a child to build towers with 15 blocks, group them, that also helps, and then challenge them to create towers with alternating colors, not just one color. And then at the end, after building the blocks, encourage them to describe the shapes. What did they build? What is the shape? What is the size of their towers? And this will also help to develop their special vocabulary. The third way of implementing effective early childhood program is integrating maths in daily activities. Integrating maths in daily activities while counting steps. You can tell a child to tell you the number of steps he counted while walking to the classroom, or the number of steps he counted the stairs while climbing. All this will make children, when they are playing, they are conscious, because they know that you can ask them how many steps they counted from the playground to the classroom, or from the talk shop area to the classroom. And then sorting and classifying. When sorting, tell children to sort toys by sizes, by colors, and types during cleanup time. this will also help. So in this, you are integrating maths in daily activities. You are not really teaching, but while telling them to carry on, while carrying out these activities, they are all in a way learning numbers. And one thing you should know is that foundation is very key, is very important. Once the foundation of a child in mathematics is grounded, then every other thing will be built on that foundation. Every other skill the child needs to be successful in life and also to be successful academically should start from the early childhood education. So when the foundation is strong, then that child will be able to also perform well or do well in mathematics in the future. The fourth way we can also improve or implement effective childhood programs is encouraging collaborative learning. How do we do this? You can foster teamwork with activities like group puzzle. Group the children, give them something to work on. It can be a building project, it can be a puzzle, can be something that will improve their reasoning skills, and then tell them to work as a group. Another way you can encourage collaborative learning activity is through peer teaching. Allow children to explain math concepts to their peers. Let them teach their peers, no matter how little a child is. My son, when he was 4 years, I always tell him to teach the sister how to write, because that one just started learning how to write. So I would tell him to hold the pen and teach the sister how to write. I also tell him to teach the sister how to count and how to add. Why am I doing this? Not that I cannot teach her myself, but in the process of teaching the sister is building his confidence, and it also reinforces his own understanding. And so let children teach their peers, peer them, let them teach each other. In doing this, children will be able to understand the concepts better and also build confidence in the subject. So that's a fourth way of encouraging collaborative learning. We can also encourage collaborative learning by training our teachers through workshop, seminars like this, and so many group activities. Let teachers attend workshops and seminars where they can learn how the new tools, learn how to use this the puzzles, learn how to use some of these tools, the building blocks and all that. So when you do this, after the training, teachers should also teach their peers. That is how to help implement effective childhood programs. So when you are a teacher is very good in this aspect, go and meet that teacher. You can meet someone, walk up to the person and say, oh, I love the way you did this. Can you teach me? When I started teaching in a school, and that was the first time I saw the teacher used near pond. And I was like, the lesson was interactive, everything were on. The slides were colorful, there were videos in between classes, there were quizzes in between slides, and so many things like that. I saw that children were all engaged. After the class, I walked up to the teacher and told her to please explain or teach me how to use that site. And now I can use it very well. So workshop and seminars are very important. Nobody is an island of knowledge. So as teachers, we have access to all this. We can even take online courses. We can take online courses when there are seminars like this. Some does not require money, like Edves Catalyst. Registration is free. Doesn't require anything for you to register and be in the program. And then, in fact, there are even buses that can transport you over to this place. So we should seize opportunities like this to build on ourselves, to learn more about things like this that will help us be a good a good someone that can implement all these strategies. So it's not just about learning it, it's about being able to implement it and teach our children in a way that they are going to have a positive attitude towards the subject. And then our parents are not left out. We should engage our parents too in the learning process. Remember, we said pre-math skill is a building block for future mathematics understanding. So let parents know the importance of early math skills and how they can support the child's learning at home. Some parents will say, oh, when I want to teach my child at home, he or she is not ready to learn again. And then we'll see parents being forced to get outside help. Now, teaching maths at home shouldn't be we shouldn't stick to the traditional means of telling a child to bring your book. Oh, you're right, 5, and then count another 5. No, when a child has spent a lot of time in school, is tired, the brain needs to be relaxed. So how do we teach maths at home? We can do this by, when you're in the kitchen, tell your child to bring out 5 spoons. Go and arrange the table, the dining table, the number of plates you need. You know, the child will need to count. When you want to prepare their tea, how many teaspoons of sugar, how many teaspoons of milk, how many teaspoons of Milo do you put in the tea? All this, you are in a way teaching the child counting, and the child is also learning from this. Then workshops should also be provided for our parents, provide resources and workshop for parents to understand and also implement learning, play-based learning at home. There are so many toys, educational toys that we can get at home. There are AIs like we talked about. There are so many AIs that you can use. Sites that children need to, you just need to open the site and then they learn directly from the site without the assistance of any adult. We have so many sites like that. So parents should make this available for their child or their wards at home. And that's, in a way, will also help implement early childhood programs. Now, you have implemented these programs. You have used the building blocks to teach counting. You have used pattern recognition. You have used your shapes to teach spatial awareness. How do you know if what you are doing is on the right track? How do you assess progress and adapt strategies? We should regularly assess children's progress through observations and informal assessments. Informal assessments in the sense that we shouldn't wait until it's time for tests before we know how a child is doing in the class. Observations. How did the child do perform outside normal testing? Because sometimes children, when they are in the formal testing environment, you can't get their best. I had a child like that who was, when I was teaching her, she answers questions. She's very when you ask questions, she answers you, and then she's very active. But when it comes to when is a time for formal test, she withdraws into her shell. So what she can do originally, when you ask her, okay, what is this? She will not answer. Record, okay, touch 1, she's looking at you. Touch 2, she's looking at you. So such child, will you say that child doesn't know what he or she is doing? No. So that is why we should regularly assess student progress through observations and also informal assessment. And then this will also help us in identifying areas where children may need additional support. And while we identify all those areas, we can now adapt our teaching strategies based on the assessment results. And that will now help to ensure that each child's unique needs are met. So, assessing progress and adapting strategies is a way of also implementing childhood programs to help your child develop that pre-math skills that will accelerate the child's learning foundation in mathematics. Research has shown that early exposure to foundational learning in mathematics has a significant influence on a child's academic trajectory. Some children hate maths today because of the kind of teacher they came in contact with, the kind of activities, the past experiences, and because of that, they developed hatred for mathematics. And that is why it is key for us to talk about the importance of accelerated foundational learning in mathematics through the interactive and play-based activities. We should shift from the traditional learning activities that we are used to as educators and learn to work with other interactive and play-based learning, because when we do that, we are bringing what that abstract concept you are bringing life into it. Like I always tell my children, breathe life into this question. Don't see it as an abstract. Think about it. Think that you are dealing with someone opposite you. So when you're asking a child to solve some mathematical questions, especially for the foundational age or early childhood, and that child is finding it difficult, please, as teachers, as educators, as parents, let us breathe life into that question by introducing interactive learning activities and also play-based activities, because it's crucial for early childhood education. It not only builds a strong mathematical foundation, but it also fosters a lifelong love for learning. So by creating engaging environments, incorporating math into our daily routines, and involving both educators and parents, we can ensure our children are well prepared for academic success. That is the way to build a strong foundation that a child needs to be a better person and to have a better performance in the future, not only in mathematics, but also in other way or other sphere of life. So, in conclusion, but before I conclude, I would like to take your question on how to implement these skills. Let's learn from each other. Let's learn from each other. So, questions are welcome. And okay, all right. So we can ask the question in our live program tomorrow. I'll be available to take all questions you have. Please write it down so that you don't forget. Thank you for listening. Once again, my name is Millie Adeze.
Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change. Greatness.
Hello, my name is Komefili Zewodage and I'm the CEO of FSM Management Services. We are into recruitment and outsourcing of staff to businesses. Take a look at this.
Outsourcing. We provide business process services for your business to allow you focus on what is important, increasing business income. Collaboration with our clients. HR advisory. We provide HR advice and guidance on HR issues, offering support and expertise, background and criminal check. We verify the authenticity of the candidates we deploy to our clients. criminal history, address verification, guarantor verification, recruitment. We recruit personnel for you. Cleaning services. We help our clients to keep their environment clean. Logistics. We deploy dispatch services to deliver your packages, documents, etc. all over the nation. Health tech. We have collaborated with only health tech HMO organizations to serve our clients even better.
Our head office is located at +668 Amodu Tijani Close off Sanusi Fafunwa, Victoria Island. We also have our branches in Enugu, Port Harcourt, and in Abuja. Our contact is on the screen. We look forward to hearing from you. Hello, my name is Kome Felix Ewodage, and I'm the CEO of FSM Management Services. We are into recruitment and outsourcing of staff to businesses. Take a look at this.
Outsourcing. We provide business process services for your business to allow you focus on what is important, increasing business income. Collaboration with our clients.
Edvest is Africa's leading digital educational platform, which enables administration, communication, finance, teaching, and learning beyond the classroom. Edvest allows you as a parent to access and track your child's academic reports and personal growth at any time, giving you a better understanding of your child's academic performance.
Have a nice day at school.
We give you the security and reassurance you need to excel in your daily activities and manage your financial obligations to your child's education. Edvest provides an administrative and management system which enhances accountability, teamwork, and growth needed for a thriving organization. Which brings perfect results. Teach creatively, learn effectively, track your child's performance easily, and do so much more with Edvest. Edvest, digital education. Visit www.edvest.net to get started now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Welcome again to Edves Catalyst 2024. My name is Judith. My children call me Miss Juju, so you can call me that as well. I'm an early years educator and I've been teaching children in the early years sector for over 12 years. As a matter of fact, when I saw the topic, I was really excited because reading is something I'm very passionate about. So today we'll be discussing accelerating foundational learning and we'll be focusing on reading. Are you ready to go on this journey with me? So first, we'll run through the overview. So we'll be discussing evidence-based instructional strategies. We'll be talking about utilizing technology and other resources. We'll be talking about how to engage parents, monitoring progress, and adapting strategies as we get along. And you'll be leaving here today with an action plan to accelerate foundational learning in reading. Are you ready? So yes, as I prepared for this, I took some time to think about when I started teaching as a teaching assistant, right? And I found it so fascinating how children learned how to read easily compared to our days. I mean, like I remember I was having to memorize CAT, CAT, SAT, SAT. Do you remember that? I mean, how did we get through all of those and were able to read? Can you remember when you actually started reading? I mean, besides the number of words you were exposed to by your teachers, what age did you start reading? I want to see it in the comments. What age? 6, 7, 8? What age? If you remember, I'm sure it was way older than our children right now. Some of our children can read from age 3. I mean, that is amazing. And that's because of the strategies that has been employed to assist them and to help them start reading. So I tried, right? I tried to define what accelerating foundational reading skills, what it means to me. And I tried to pen it down as accelerating foundational reading skills is essentially using teaching strategies, right? That's the core. Teaching strategies that speeds up a learner's exposure to grade level reading. So it needs to be appropriate, right? Accelerating foundational learning in reading aims to equip the learners with the essential skills that they need for academic and personal success. You will agree with me that reading is the foundation. Like, children need reading to be able to excel in other areas of the academics. So we'll go into the how. So how do we get children to read? How do we accelerate these foundational reading skills that they need? So I've tried to break it down into about 5 strategies, right? And I'm hoping that with you, we'll be able to do justice to this. For some of you might be hearing this for the first time. For some of us, it might just be reminders. And I'm hoping that you take this away with you today. Okay? So first, we have a pyramid here. I'm sure some of you are familiar with this reading pyramid, right? It's just the building blocks, the foundational skills that are needed before a child can learn to read effectively. So first, we have the phonemic awareness. On that, we have phonics and decoding, and then we have reading fluency, and then we move on to comprehension. So comprehension is like on the top of the pyramid. So I will spend a bit of time discussing these teaching strategies that you can use for these building blocks so that teaching can be effective and you can accelerate the foundational reading skills of your learners. So first, I'll start with phonemic awareness and phonics instruction. So we'll look into that first. Phonemic awareness and phonics instruction. When I was preparing for this, I saw this picture and it says it's all about sounds. I was like, yeah, yes, the foundation of reading is truly all about sounds, right? So how do we develop this phonemic awareness in our children? The starting point really is developing their listening skills. I mean, how can you hear sounds if you do not have the ability to listen? So the first point is developing their listening skills. How do you do that in an earlier setting? You need to first expose the children to these sounds, right? Give them an opportunity to explore sounds. This might sound very basic, but it's so important. So animal sounds, nursery rhymes, the sound of the door shutting. You need to consciously draw your children's attentions to those sounds so that they begin to have an ear for sounds, because that's what they will need when you start to teach them phonics instructions, right? So developing listening skills is very, very important. On that as well, building on that, you also want to help them understand the context of the sounds that they hear. So it's not enough for them to develop the listening skills, but they need to also understand the context of the sounds that they hear, because that will help them later on in comprehension. Remember, we're building blocks, right? So I'll give you an example. So if a child hears the sound of a siren, right, you need to help the child link it to a police car, for example, right? In Nigeria here, in fact, in my setting, when the children hear that alarm that goes off when PHCM brings the lights, they go, oh, there's light, like they know, because their ears have been trained to know and link that sound to us having power supply, right? So it's important that you develop their listening skills. Then we'll move on to your phonics instructions, right? So there are different phonics instructions that you can use. But one thing I want you to note is your phonics instruction must be systematic. What do I mean by that? It must progress from simple to complex, right? So there are different phonics instructions. There's Jolly Phonics, there is Montessori, there's Letterland, there is Leapfrog, there's all of that. But whatever phonics instruction your school use must progress from simple to complex. So the first step for that is letter sound correspondence, right? So you need to teach children to link letters to sounds. And yes, it's preschool, it's early years, so it needs to be fun. You need to engage all their senses. So you cannot just bring a flashcard of letter A or say this is A, this is A. You know, you need to engage all their senses using different tools, which I will share as we go along. So after later sound correspondence, they then start to learn how to segment sound. So this is the beginning sound. When you say cat, the first sound I hear is k. Ending sounds, when I say cat, the last sound I hear is t. So you then move on to that. Then you move on to word building and blending. Right. For the purpose of this session, I won't be able to go into details with word building and blending because there's also a progression when it comes to that. But what I would like you to take away is when your children start doing word building and blending, right, ensure that they do sentence formation, whether or not they can write it, whether or not they can read it, because that will help lay a foundation for their reading fluency and also for comprehension. So here are some tools that you can use for phonemic awareness and phonics instruction. So you can use flashcards, good old flashcards. Yes, they still work. So this works because the children can actually see the sounds, right? You can also use the sandpaper letters. I love this because the children can also feel the sounds, right? So they're using different senses, so they can feel it and then they can also see it. Then you also have the movable alphabet box, you have the pink series, the blue series. Those are great materials. So when you're working with really young children, you need to work with things that they can touch, things they can see, things they can smell. You need to engage all their senses as much as possible, right? So the second building block on this, so we've discussed phonemic awareness and we've discussed phonics instruction. So next on that, we have the vocabulary development, right? So for the vocabulary development, you need to focus on interactions, modeling, teaching, and immersion. So for interactions, you need to make sure that your environment is language rich, right? You need to keep speaking to your children. Language is acquired. It's what you say to children that they will give back to you. So there needs to be a lot of interaction when it comes to vocabulary development. So you need to keep talking to them. Do not think that they are too young to understand you, right? They are taking it in to their subconscious, and when it's time, they'll bring it all back to you. So you need to keep interacting with your children. Part of interaction will be reading to them. In a preschool setting, you need to read to your children daily. I mean daily, every day. You need to read to your children because in reading to them, they're acquiring language and they're improving on their vocabulary as well, and you're exposing them to new words. So you need to read to them. 5 minutes a day will be good to read a book every day to your children. Then you need to model the right words. Say things as they are to be said. Like, don't use words that are not real. Name things correctly. So you need to name things correctly so that they can develop their vocabulary as well. Then immersion. Make sure your environment is language rich, as I said earlier, right? Have a reading corner. Have books that the children can easily access. Have play items. Have a role play area. A lot of communication happens during role playing. So let your environment be language rich. Have print materials. Label the materials in your classroom so that your children can see them. Have a word wall so that they can easily read those words off the wall. You need to immerse your children in a language rich environment. Then of course you need to teach them new vocabulary. Yes, you need to intentionally teach them new vocabulary. So like sight words, for example, you need to teach them. They will not just know it. You need to teach them things, common names of colors, for example. They will not just know how to spell colors. You need to teach them names of animals. You need to teach them. So you need to intentionally teach that. So for vocabulary development, if you go through the interaction, modeling, you go through teaching and immersion, you'll be able to help your children develop their vocabulary. So next, you see a picture of my classroom, right? So we have a reading corner. You can easily create that. Just a reading corner with a bookshelf that the children can easily access. Yes, it doesn't need to be this fancy. What you need is books and accessibility. The children should just be able to access the books. Really, that's what you need. Then you need a word wall that just has different words that you want them to learn. Then a role play corner will also be great so that they can role play communicate with each other, and also develop their vocabulary. So next, research actually shows that research indicates that children who are read to, who are sung to and talked to from a very young age develop bigger vocabularies, they become better readers, and are more likely to succeed in school. I'm not the one that said it. It's research based. So when you read to children, when you sing to them, when you talk to them from a young age means from the womb, from as early as they get to you, right? You need to talk to them, sing to them, and read to them. They become better readers and they are more likely to succeed in school. So quickly, we'll look at the next block on the reading pyramid. So next we have reading fluency, right? So when you're looking at reading fluency, there's a fluency checklist. It says accuracy. I read the words correctly, right? For you to say you are reading fluently, you need to read the words correctly. I read not too fast and not too slow. Then he also talks about your expression. I read with feeling and I do not sound like a robot. He also talks about punctuation. I follow most or all of the punctuation marks as I read the text. So when you're teaching, when you're trying to get your children to read fluently, this is a good checklist. Take a picture so that you have it in mind, right? This is a good checklist to keep in mind when you're teaching children how to read fluently. But how do you achieve this? How do you get children to read fluently? I've shared some strategies that have worked for me over the years. First, we have echo reading. Right? So echo reading is really just reading a sentence and getting the children to read it after you. So I'm saying the cat sat on a mat, and the children say the cat sat on a mat, right? That's echo reading. Then you have model fluent reading. You need to model it. So when you're reading to children, you need to read to them the way you want them to read to you fluently using the checklist that we just looked at. So you need to model how to read fluently. Then repeated reading. Right, this is quite controversial. So repeated reading is really getting a child to read the same book over and over and over again. So what that does for the child is the child masters the book, and that also helps the child build their confidence in reading. Because with reading, the child needs to be confident. So when a child reads a book repeatedly and feels like, I can read, it's easier really to get the child to keep reading. Then reading practice, this one is major. For some reason, I do not understand why we think as teachers that children can actually learn to read without practicing reading, right? They need to practice. If you're using your phonics instructions and a child is learning how to blend three-letter words, for example, you do not wait until the child is moving on to four-letter words before you introduce the child to books with three-letter words. I don't know if that makes sense. So if a child is blending three-letter words, CVC words very well, like the child can do it without any form of stress, you should at that point introduce the child to books that have three-letter words so that the child starts to see words in print, right? It's different. So when you're teaching blending, word building is different from actually reading words in print. So you need to introduce the child to that. So reading practice is something that should be done daily. And I get it, some of us have quite a large class size. You might not be able to do that daily, but it should be in your plan for at least 3 times a week. Schedule your children, schedule them, get them to sit with you and read to you every day. In doing that, they are building their reading fluency, because it's not magic. Because what I find in early years is teachers in primary 1 just expect that the children should know how to read. Those in early years, we think, I mean, when I say early years, I mean nursery 2, reception, whatever it's called in your school, we think it's magic. Like the child will just move on to primary 1 and know how to read. They actually need to practice reading. I know I'm overflogging this, but it's for a reason. Reading practice is very, very important. Children need to practice reading. And as they practice, you need to have a reading log, right? where you record the books that they've read and also record whatever difficulty they had. Like have comments written down so that when they're reading to you again, you can make reference to it and know the gap that you need to fill if need be. So I'll just show you some books that we use for reading practice. So if you're doing reading practice, you need to use like a guided reading book. So everything has to be systematic. So a child is moving from a less difficult book to a difficult book. So if you look at this picture, for example, right, you see this child. Does he have a smile on his face? He's frowning, the first child. The child is really frowning, and the child is saying, this book is too hard for me, too many words on each page. And there's another child really looking relaxed, having fun, and the child is saying, this book looks better. It even has pictures, right? What does this say to you as a teacher? Looking at this picture, what does this say to you? You need to give children books that are grade appropriate, age appropriate, depending on the child's needs and abilities. Of course, you must put that into consideration, depending on the child's needs and abilities, right? You can see one child is very happy to read and the other isn't. So these are some samples of books that we use in school. So we have the Bob books. It goes from set 1 to set 5. We have the primary phonics books as well. But guess what? If you do not even have access to these books, do you know you can create your own books? Yes, you can. We are very creative teachers, early years educators. We are very creative, if I can say that myself. You can create your own sentences. I've taught a child CVC words with the vowel sound ah. All I need to do is sit down and create a story with ah. I've been saying a cat sat on a mat, the cat was sad. Just create something and give to the child to keep practicing and reading to you. So there are really no excuses, there are no limitations, because I know it's easy for us to say, oh, we do not have access to these books. No, you do not need the books. You can create your own stories. So on the top of the pyramid is comprehension, right? And what does comprehension say? Comprehension simply says, I understand what I read. That's comprehension, basically. Like I've read it and I understand it, right? To build these skills early, you need to start to expose children to storytelling. So tell them stories, get them to recount the stories. Give them books. Give your children books. They should just flip through the pages. They can't read, but they can see the pictures. After flipping through the pictures, ask them, what do you understand from this book? What do you think? What happens to cats? What happens to, I'm saying cats all day. I don't know. Am I getting a cat? So yes, you can ask questions like that. Like, what do you think happened? So just give them books to flip through and ask questions after, right? You can also do sequencing events, right? So when you wake up in the morning, what do you do? After brushing your teeth, what comes next? Things like that will help build their comprehension skills. And of course, asking open-ended questions, not just when you give a comprehension passage. Like, you don't need to wait till the child is ready. So a child is 2 years old, you're asking them questions to help them comprehend even before they are ready to start doing comprehension passages, right? I've spent quite some time on this first strategy, as I mentioned, but we'll move quickly to the second, which is differentiation. Right, we really cannot talk about accelerating foundational learning in reading without talking about differentiation. I mean, we must talk about differentiation. Why do we need to talk about differentiation? Why do we need differentiation in discussing accelerating foundational learning? Because our children have different needs. They have different needs. They have different abilities, and they have different interests. We need to consider all of this if we're going to close any learning gap that there is, or if we're going to speed up the process of them learning to read. So we need to understand that, know that as a teacher, that the 22 children in your class, they are not the same. They may all be 5-year-olds, but they are not the same. They have different abilities, they have different needs, and of course, they have different interests. So it is important that you differentiate the instructions. How do we do that? First, you need to know your learner, right? Know your learner. That's the first thing you need to do. You need to know your learner. I just talked about knowing their needs, knowing their abilities, and knowing their interests. As an early childhood educator, the bedrock of everything we do is observation. That's the only way you can know your learner, like observation. You need to observe your children, observe and take notes. You need to continuously observe your children. That's the only way you will know what they like, what they do not like, how they'll rather like to learn, what their learning style is. You need to know your learner. And then you need to also assess your learner. In our setting, we do a lot of informal assessment. We do not sit down and say, take paper, take pen, you're writing an exam or anything. So informal assessment. We assess our children every Friday, as a matter of fact. So on Fridays, we don't do any form of teaching per se. So we do assessment because that informs what the plan that we'll do the next week. So we do that every Friday, just informally. Oh, what sound is this? Oh, can you blend this? Just playfully. The children do not even know that they are being assessed, right? So that informs what we teach them the next week. So assess your learners. That way you'll be able to create adjustable, targeted work for them. You'll be able to know that, oh, this method is not working. I cannot sit on the mat with this child using the movable alphabet box to teach blending. I need to bring in technology, right? I need to use an app to teach this child how to blend. Oh no, I need to take the child outside. We need to run around the school and look for things that say right? So it's in doing these assessments you really know, and you'll be able to be flexible. So with differentiation is just saying, do not do a one size fits all, right? Be flexible with your approach as you work with your learners. That's one way you can easily accelerate foundational learning in reading. So in assessing, you see the children who have learning difficulties, who have gaps in learning, and you also see those who are exceeding expectation. So it is important that you create your lessons to fit the child that you're working with. Then you can also group your learners, right? You can group them. You can have different reading levels. Group them. This is group A, group B, based on their abilities. Then those that you think really need an intervention, you can create time to work with them one-on-one so that the gap will be filled and they'll be at where they're supposed to be. So the next strategy, the number 3, so we've discussed 2 strategies so far. We've talked about effective teaching strategies. Secondly, we've mentioned differentiation. And the third we'll be looking at is incorporating technology. Monitoring student progress, right? So monitoring student progress. I already touched on that when I was discussing the differentiated learning. So you need to monitor their progress, know where a child is at through observation, through informal assessment, so that you can know when there's a gap and what you need to do to fill that gap. You know what fits the child. And it's important that you keep record. I have a sample of a reading log to share. The reading log, I have the sample of a reading log to share. If you look at the reading log, you'll see that you just write the name of the book. You write the name of the book, and I would like to see the reading log. You see the name of the book, and then you have to write the comments. So on the comments, you see what you write, you note down what you need to do with the child, right? So you write down the gap. Does this child need to work on sentence formation? Does this child need to work on phonograms? So you need to have a record, right? You do not just monitor progress and have it stored in your brain. You need to write it down so that you have data in case you need to do some form of restructuring when it comes to the teaching strategy that you need to use. So fourthly, I'll move on to the fourth one. You need to leverage on technology. The fourth strategy is leverage on technology. I always say that AI is like the new assistant teachers, right? They are the new assistant teacher because you can practically just go online and type on. In fact, there was an AI tool I came in contact with recently. It's called Clay, right? You just need to put the picture of a child doing an activity and it will analyze the activity the child is doing. It will tell you what needs to be done, the activities you need to do to improve that. It tells you the level the child is at. I found this so interesting. And I'm like, so there's this, and teachers are still not leveraging on technology, right? It just makes your job a whole lot, it makes it easier. So you need to leverage on technology. We use videos a lot, short videos. So when planning your lessons, look for videos that speak to whatever it is, the lesson you want to deliver that day. So we use short videos a lot, especially when we're introducing sounds, when we're reinforcing sounds, we use a lot of videos. So videos, music, nursery rhymes. Look for, if your school can afford it, they're actually reading platforms that provide personalized parts for children. So you enter your children's names, their grade, and it just keeps telling you the activities to do part time, right? An example is reading.com. You can check it out. Reading.com has that. You can use it to monitor your children's progress. It gives you the activities, the work, all that you need to do to help your children read. Also, you can use interactive reading books. There are lots of them online. Look for interactive ebooks, audio books. Yes, even when you are trying to develop your children's listening skills, audio books are great. It gets them to actually pay attention and listen, right? So the fifth strategy I'll be sharing today is homeschool partnership. We cannot do it alone. You really cannot teach a child to read all by yourself. In fact, research shows that children learn to read from people who they have an emotional connection with. People say it a lot, like, oh, my mom taught me how to read. It's the emotional connection. That's why for early years, connection is very important. Like, you must connect with your children, because children learn how to read faster from people who they are emotionally connected with. So you need to work with the home. You need to for us, we send home books. For children who do not know how to read, we send books home every Friday for the parents to read to the children. So parents get to read books to their children, and then there's a feedback part of the reading log where they just tell us, oh, he enjoyed the book, he loved it, he pointed at cat or sat or whatever. So they just give us feedback on that as well. So homeschool partnership is very important. And for children who can read, send books home daily. So the book they are reading in school, we send it home every day for them to practice reading. Right? You can actually share this responsibility with the parents. It's fine. It's okay. If you do not have the time to do reading practice every day, send the book home. Let them read to their parents, right? Send books home daily, and also discuss strategies you're using in school. Discuss it with the parents. If, for example, your phonics instruction is Jolly Phonics, right, and the parents are using Leapfrog or showing the child Leapfrog videos at home, it's confusing. It's going to be very confusing for the child, right? So you need to share with the parents the phonics instruction you're using. We share videos a lot with our parents, like, so that we are all on the same page and we are not confusing the child. So far I've shared 5 strategies, and I hope you found them very useful. So I would like to conclude by saying that I would like you to remember this. Remember that the key to accelerating foundational reading is prioritizing your learner's needs and abilities. I keep saying this because the child needs to be at the center of it, right? The key to accelerating foundational reading is prioritizing your learner's needs and abilities, enhancing your learner's intrinsic motivation. It needs to be fun. Your learner needs to be interested in it. You know, even as an adult, it's easier for you to excel in things that you are naturally interested in. So you need to enhance your learner's intrinsic motivation to learn by making it fun, by using things that they can touch, things that they can see, the aids that I've shared so far. So you need to enhance your learner's intrinsic motivation. Then you need to keep them engaged in grade level content, right? And optimally utilize all available resources, including technology. So there's all the resources that are available to you. Use them to accelerate foundational reading. Thank you. So the action plan, yes, I would like you to go back to school and do this. Take a picture of it. You need to set clear, measurable goals for accelerating foundational reading skills in your school. Identify the support and the resources that you need. set timelines and milestones for implementation, and develop strategies for monitoring progress and making adjustments as needed. I'm here, I'm rooting for you, right? If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to contact me. My name is Judith Usiakwa. I'll take any questions that you may have right now. Thank you. Or you can reach me tomorrow as well. And I do hope you're coming tomorrow for the physical event. I'm looking forward to seeing you. So you can note down your questions. Feel free to stop me and ask me. I'll be very willing to help you. Thank you.
My name is Professor Edves Catalyst, the Honorable Commissioner for Education of Enugu State. His Excellency Barrister Peter Ndubuisimba's vision for Enugu is to bring our poverty index count to 0, is to move our GDP from $4.4 billion per annum to $30 billion per annum. It is to ensure that we have radical but sustainable development in Enugu State. And for this to happen, Enugu will need to build up its human capital. That is, the capacity of its workforce, to modernize its workforce, to ensure that every child in Enugu is equipped with the right kind of education, with the right kind of skill, with the right kinds of proficiency and competency, not only to ensure they improve the quality of life now, but to assure their future. And now, for this to happen, it requires thinking outside the box, investing in education in a different kind of way. If we want to build up our human capacity, we need to reform our educational institutions. So when you look at His Excellency's manifesto, you see that education, he defines it as a cross-cutting sector, as a cross-cutting institution. He sees education as contributing to social service delivery, but also contributing to workforce growth and GDP growth, but also contributing to effective governance. Because an educated people are a civic people, they're a peace-loving people, they're a patriotic people, they're people who want to lift up their community, they're people who see investment in children as the tomorrow that is here.
Hello everyone, my name is Mara Huber and it has been a pleasure to serve as Special Advisor to the Governor of Enugu for Education and Experiential Learning. Since starting my work about 6 months ago, so much has happened and it has been quite extraordinary to see the transformation of Enugu's basic education system with the infusion and integration of experiential learning. When we started this journey, we were very focused on the idea of building 21st century competencies and not only supporting students' learning, but connecting them with opportunities for growth and contributing to the economic development and sustainability of Enugu. Since that time, we have designed the curriculum with some tools and resources that the teachers have been using. For the teachers, we developed CASE as a flexible framework to support the creation and design of experiential lessons and activities. CASE stands for Collaborate, Achievement, Skills and Competencies, and Evidence of Engagement. And CASE is designed to really guide and accompany the teachers as they're activating their own expertise and talent and creating the scheme of work. But we also developed resources for the students, because this whole paradigm is such a shift and so different from traditional teaching that we need to help students develop their own practice and really empower them to take ownership of learning. And so we are adapting and using Pearl, which is a framework that I developed through my work at the University at Buffalo. Pearl stands for Prepare, Engage, and Add Value, Reflect, and Leverage. And it serves as a guide, if you will, to help students unpack and make the most of their experiences.
Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change. Greatness.
Hello, my name is Felice and I'm the CEO of FSM Management Services. We are into recruitment and outsourcing of staff to businesses. Take a look at this.
Outsourcing. We provide business process services for your business to allow you focus on what is important, increasing business income. Collaboration with our clients. HR Advisory. We provide HR advice and guidance on HR issues, offering support and expertise, background and criminal checks. We verify the authenticity of the candidates we deploy to our clients. Criminal history. Address verification. Guarantor verification. Recruitment. We recruit personnel for you. Cleaning services. We help our clients to keep their environment clean. Logistics. We deploy dispatch services to deliver your packages, documents, etc. all over the nation. Health tech. We have collaborated with only health tech HMO organizations to serve our clients even better.
Our head office is located at +668 Amodu Tijani Close off Sanusi Fafunwa, Victoria Island. We also have our branches in Enugu, Port Harcourt, and in Abuja. Our contact is on the screen. We look forward to hearing from you. Hello, my name is Felice and I'm the CEO of FSM Management Services. We are into recruitment and outsourcing of staff to businesses. Take a look.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, distinguished teachers, school heads, education enthusiasts. I'm happy to be here and I'm excited. I hope that you can tell. So, welcome to another Edves Catalyst. I'd like to first of all appreciate the Edvest team for consistently bringing these teachers year in, year out. Well done, guys, and thank you so very much. So my name is Bankole Bemiga, and I teach with the Lagos State government. I don't like to underplay my employers. The Lagos State government is the most impressive state government in the whole of Africa. So, okay, I have people laughing here. All right, and I'm talking to the topic, digital pedagogy, a case with
AI. But before we go into that, because I'm a classroom teacher, I like the level of interaction that questioning gives me. So in the course of 25 minutes, I'm going to be asking 3 key questions, just for you to share your opinion about certain things with me. So please stay very close to the chat box, drop your questions, and then drop your answers as I ask the questions. So thank you again, Edvest, for having me, and welcome every participant. So let's go into it. The very first thing I would like us to do is, we have heard of the word pedagogy. Everybody went to a college of education at some time, or maybe we went back for a postgraduate, and that word was thrown at you all the time. I would like you to tell me what your own perspective of that word is. So I found something online. And it says pedagogy refers to the arts, the science, or the profession of teaching, particularly in a formal educational setting. You see, what that means is pedagogy is your method, and it is your method of teaching, the way you teach, and everything about your practice is what pedagogy is. I don't know if anybody has shared their opinion with me on what it is. Okay, so let's just go on. Next slide, please. So, okay, my own opinion. I asked you to share yours with me. My own opinion, I have grouped into 4. And every time I look at this, I feel that it's quite cool. So I say pedagogy involves your teaching method. As a teacher, your teaching method. It could be you're a science teacher, and you know that you want to spark curiosity in your learners. So it could be that you love to use the inquiry-based method. You could be that one teacher that likes the problem-solving method or the project-based teaching method. So pedagogy involves your teaching method. It involves your learner's learning style. I think the lady that just left now, I'm sorry, I'm not very good. What? Judy, yes, Miss Juju, yes, I remember now. She actually gave us an insight into what a learner's learning style entails. So you see, when we're talking about your pedagogy, it involves your own teaching method as well as your learner's learning style. You don't want to underplay or want to say everybody learns the same way. Hi, for instance, I don't quite understand you when you're just talking to me and you are not allowing me do anything. So that's it. Then you, as a teacher, your understanding and then your ability to be able to adapt your curriculum content. You cannot talk about pedagogy and not say you have content knowledge. No, it's not possible. And then your formative and summative assessment methods. What are the things that you do as a teacher to be able to know that your learners are actually learning? So let me put everything together. And say that pedagogy also, in summary, pedagogy can and should also include the school community and also the community linkages. I mean what your school culture is. Take for instance, you are in a particular, okay, we have quite a number of Nigerian teachers going abroad now, going to the UK to pick up this same job of teaching. And there's cultural difference between Nigeria and UK. If you are not ready as an educator, as a teacher, to be able to readapt yourself and consider that cultures differ, then your pedagogy is not detailed. So what am I saying in general? That pedagogy involves the approach that you have to teaching, as well as the theory and practice of learning. Moving on. Okay, so I would have wanted to ask you one more question, another question, but I don't think I got feedback from the first one. All right, so what would my other question have been? That you should fill in this gap and tell me, I am an e-learning teacher because, so just tell me how you consider yourself to be an e-learning teacher. I'm an e-learning teacher because of this, and then the second one will be, I am more than an e-learning teacher because, let me give you my own answers. I'm talking about, I particularly like when we're able to share opinion and share perspectives. So I am more than an e-learning teacher because I select my technological tools from a critical pedagogical perspective. I'm going to take that again. I am more than an e-learning teacher. And my reason is for naming myself that, for carrying that emblem, is very simple. It is because I consistently approach all the technological tools that I have at my disposal that I can and I'm able to use, and I approach them from a critical pedagogical perspective. What I'm saying is, I'm not just, it's not only about me having this tool and me being able to use them. I can have a television screen in my class and then just use an HDMI cable to project slides on that television screen. But that's e-learning and digital pedagogy has exceeded that level. So digital pedagogy is an innovative approach to teaching and learning that is shaped by, I'm going to use the word somewhat, unlimited possibilities of digital technology. I use the word somewhat because I know, like everything that is man-made, there are still a little limitations to it. Okay, so digital pedagogy is not just about digital technology in schools. It's not just you having smart boards. It's not just you having tabs. It's not your children's access to computer. It's not my own, the public sector, my children's access to telephones. It goes beyond that. Digital pedagogy is about human beings. What I mean is about you and I, educators, about school heads, about policy makers, and everybody else who are education enthusiasts in our schools, where we have technology and how that technology is able to bring something new to learning. That's what digital technology is all about. The nuance, the inflection that our technological tools can bring to our pedagogy. So it's about what technology does to pedagogy. It's not about this is what my content knowledge know. It's about what I can use these technologies to do to what I already know, to my practice. So digital technology is about how pedagogy can and must. Yes, next slide. How it is about how pedagogy can and must respond to the newness, to the inflection that technology creates. And when I'm talking about the nuance that it is bringing, I'm talking about using digital technologies to be able to create new forms of engagement, to be able to create new levels of collaboration, to be able to expand and develop more robust knowledge base for yourself and even for your learners. We're saying digital technology is not just about using technology to support your traditional methods of teaching and learning. It's not the regular, I have a lapel pin and I'm projecting what I'm saying. I can do voiceover. I can share videos on a slide, on a screen. No, it goes beyond that. I'm saying that digital technology involves us rethinking and reimagining the entire teaching and learning process in a digital context. Rethinking it, looking at it from an angle of, oh, I'm a teacher, this is what I'm going to teach. How can I use technology to arrive at where I'm going to? How can I use technology to do something that is totally different from the traditional, that exceeds the traditional methods that we had before? So before we go to the next slide, I want us to answer another question. Okay, I'm going to ask one more thing. The final one, I tell you, is what other things? What other ways do you view digital technology? I asked you a question earlier that, are you just an e-learning teacher? If you are just an e-learning teacher, you are just that teacher that is able to use technological tools. Okay, somebody has said, I am more than an e-learning teacher because I use technological tools in teaching. Oh, wow, fantastic. Okay, I will say that you are an e-learning teacher. You are more than an e-learning teacher if you don't just use the technology, but you consider from the scratch, from the day that you get your schemes of work. I mean, from from the time the faculty sits down and hands you over your syllabus, and you begin to consider, oh, okay, these are the numerous tools I have. Which particular tool fits this particular thing? Then you are more than an e-learning teacher. You are more or less asking technology to readapt, to change in such a way that it meets the demand that we are in now. So, thank you. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so digital technology is the thoughtful use of digital tools. I mean, digital technology is about paying attention to the impact of digital tools on learning. On this screen right now, we have digital pedagogy, free generative AI. What do I mean by that? I'm saying, what is our method? What did we use in the context of digital technology before we had generative AI? Generative AI, like the likes of Chat GPT and the others. I teach biology in a state school, and my students I can have a population of up to about 7 to 5 per time in a class. And in fact, biology is life science. A lot of times, content of our curriculum are things that that if you were able to show these children, if you were able to demonstrate, it will concretize learning. It will make them remember it and be able to even apply it to real life experiences. So every time when I'm preparing my lesson, before we're looking at digital technology, pre-generative AI, before the advent of the glamorous AI and Chat GPT and the others, what did I use as a biology teacher? My go-to guy was YouTube. Oh, you cannot go wrong with YouTube. I don't think I ever went wrong with YouTube. In fact, for it not to backfire, do you know what I would do? Download videos that were content relevant, and then you can download on the app, and then instead of sharing links with my children, I will download, and then the new video I will now send into our WhatsApp group, so that I don't want them running the risk of encountering things that are not appropriate on YouTube. So what is that topic that you are looking to show your children that is not available on YouTube? Is it from the mode of operation of the mammalian art, or even onto conception of new life? I remember last term, SS2, we were supposed to talk about sexual reproduction, structure of the sperm cell, structure of the egg cell. I don't have the spermatozoon in my lab. I do not have the egg cell. In fact, I doubt if you are walking through any hospital, you find any of those, except maybe you are visiting a geneticist. So, and what I did was go on YouTube, downloaded, and I found this very spectacular video of how the billions of sperm cells, the journey that they take up till they get to the fallopian tube, and conception, fertilization takes place, and then they come back to the endometrium for implantation. I wish I had that video with me, because while I was showing it, I took a random video of my children in class, and you should have seen them. They were blown away. They were like, wow, because the video was actually quite detailed. So you can't go wrong. No, I don't think that you can go wrong with YouTube. Another one that I have used non-stop is Google Lens. This one is actually very fascinating. I used it second week, third week of this term. We were looking at structure of flowering plants and structure of flowers. And I told quite a lot of my students, go and bring flowers. Anyone you see, just bring to class. Of course, they thought, oh, okay, we're going to look at the male part of the flower and the female part of the flower. But when they got there, I said, let us name these flowers first. Let's know what flower this is, what flower you are. Your own flower is color purple. This is color yellow. So let's try and get their names. I, as a teacher, I did not know their names. I don't know where they got them from. So what did I do? I just brought out my phone, and then just the Google Lens icon on your Google, and then I just began to take pictures of it. And when you take a picture of it, it just displays voila on the screen of your device, and then you get to show it to the children. Oh, see, your own flower is called yours is hibiscus flower, yours is the Bougainvillea, yours is Pride of Barbados, yours is this, yours is that. And then we now went into the nitty-gritty of dissecting our flower and then trying to bring out which one was the androecium, which was the gynoecium. But Google Lens actually said its purpose. I mean, every child there knew the name of the flower that they are coming to class with. So I'm not going to talk about augmented resources, OERs, and I would like to give it up to Edvest for having a very wonderful and robust content. And actually, it is free. I didn't know that. I didn't know that your content, the one, because I just went onto your website and I found out that you had prepared notes and questions, past questions from WAEC and all those other regional examination bodies. So very, 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 very fantastic. And with Edvest, you can go on and download resources that your children can use. Another one that I have used is this one, LibroText. Awesome, awesome site for OER. All you need to do is key in your topic and then it gives you everything. It's not a site to write your lesson plan for you. It's a site to give you the content that you intend to teach your children. So in fact, there are quite a number of times that I have been in class and we're discussing and all, and then a question comes up. So I just go there and then put it in, pass my phone around. I have 2 devices that I take to class. Pass the phone around and then the children have free access to new knowledge. And then I keep telling them that this knowledge was not prepared by me, it was prepared by another biology teacher from somewhere else in the world. But what I'm saying is that knowledge is universal. So what you are learning here is also what they are learning in Belgium and in Bangladesh. So I also use Byju's as an open educational resource. I named WhatsApp because I teach in a public school, and I know WhatsApp is that one app that you can have on every phone. I don't know how those children do it. You see them come with small phones and then they tell you that they have WhatsApp on it. So I can give them notes. We have a WhatsApp group where we put our notes, where maybe I saw something, I'm listening to the news or I'm watching something on Nadio Wide, and then I saw something, I'm able to just quickly dump it there for them. Okay, everybody, next class, we are going to discuss that. And then we have PowerPoint presentations too. So let's go to augmented and virtual realities. This one, do you know that there are actual virtual reality headsets that you can afford? You don't need your school ed or even anybody to buy. If it's yours, I was talking to Coretta just immediately after our presentation, and then she was like, "Oh, what school do you teach at? What do you?" And I told her everything I have, I got myself is my own. So, and the reason why I got them is because I want to make my teaching easier, and I know that there's no way. The measure of comfort that technology brings to teaching, nothing else can give you that. The measure of ease, the measure of, I mean, you are not stressed anymore with the infusion of technology into your practice. Everything that you need to know on a global scale. I'm not talking about knowledge limited to your own local community. I'm talking about knowledge that is like that is synchronistic, that is common to Africa and then to the United States and then to Belgium or even to Asia. You get them like that. So okay, now I was talking about these virtual reality headsets. Once you can buy them on Jumia, I think you have them as cheap as 12,000. I saw it today, 22,000 naira, and then they can connect to your Android phones. So what do you use them for? What do you use them for? Very simple. I have a physiological activity that I want my children to look at. Maybe take, for instance, how the heart pumps blood through the right chamber or through the left chamber. So once I download that video, there are apps on our Play Store and the iOS that work with our virtual reality headsets. So all I need to do is download and then send it to it, and I don't need to buy 3, I don't need to buy 4. Actually, I come from a place where my children are very plenty. I have 75, 80. So I don't need more than one. And then if I'm going to do an after school practice of, okay, I've told you, we have used charts to see how blood flows. Now look at it in real life. And then each child waits at 2 o'clock, puts it on, and okay, that's it. Oh, you see, you get that feeling of, wow, we've done a very good one. So let's go into, this is my final slide. Digital pedagogy, a phenomenon with AI. It is, I mean, when I deliberately changed the what Edvest gave. Edvest said a case with AI, and I removed case and put phenomenon, because everything I talked about for now, I said pre-generative AI. You see how excited I was talking about all of the endless things that I find on YouTube and virtual reality and all of those things. I'm saying that with AI, it is like, if I'm not exaggerating, it's like 50 times better. 50 times better. Let's quickly look at the benefits of generative AI. Number one, interactive learning. When I say interactive learning, I mean generative AI affords you the possibilities of gamification, of virtual laboratories. I know Edvest is partnered with FET now. FET has become very popular amongst us, even in the secondary sector, because if you don't have a full functional laboratory, you can have a virtual laboratory. I can, instead of me describing diffusion, simple scientific processes using my mouth, or just bringing things that will not readily go around. I can use a virtual reality like FET and display certain scientific phenomena to my children. So I said gamification. So that's another elaborate benefit of generative AI. We have so many tools now on the internet that are even, before you pay for them, that means before you buy the premium feature, you are looking to get something massive. But with the free version, you can still do a lot. When I say gamification, I mean, your children want to do hands-on. Your children will be bored if they are just seated and listening to you talk and talk and talk. But you have said something, they have worked in the group, and then you want to quickly assess what they have done. So instead of saying, oh, you tell me this, and then you just put it out there. Whenever we want to do that in my own school, I just tell them, bring your phone. The school does not permit phone, by saying bring your phone for the purpose of that. When you come to school, give me your phone. I put them in my drawer. When it's time for our class, you come for your phone. But students can be somehow, because I've had instances where teachers will say he was pressing the phone in class because he will come and not give it to me. But those ones that actually obey, when it's time, they bring out the phones and we launch a particular tool, a particular app, and then they are excited because they are seeing, and then they have these strange cartoonish names that these gaming sites give them. Somebody can be called Spider-Man of the universe, another one. So he's quite happy and they're having fun. So another benefit of generative AI is curriculum updates. This one is actually one that catches my fancy all the time. Up until now, there are very limited texts that have included COVID-19 and Ebola and all. I will continue to make reference to biology. There's a topic in our schemes in SS1, microorganisms and man. So we are talking in that topic. We're supposed to examine benefits of microorganisms and the harm that they can cause. You should expect that by now our text should have coronavirus. Our text should have Ebola, because those are more recent microorganisms. They are not like the tobacco bacilli. They are not like the other ones, that the polio. In fact, I think there are nations of the world that have completely eradicated polio. So we should not, but then we don't have such things in our text. But with generative AI, if I put in my topic on an AI, it's not limited to 1920. It's not limited to 1998. It's bringing all information. Streaming is like an intelligent spy, going everywhere, gathering all data and presenting it to me on just the stroke of a key. and then I'm good to go. I'm delivering to my children real time, real life content, accurate content, because of course I will validate the information that it supplies to me. But then my curriculum is consistently updated because of these generative tools. Now, another benefit is that generative AI provides scalable solution. What do I mean by this? It means that with the use of generative AI, it can it can service a large population of students and not get tired, because it's automated now. So irrespective of how many students are using it, it's not going to wear out. It's not going to say, oh, I cannot produce information anymore, or oh, this chunk of information, I'm tired of it. It continues to feed you with this information back to back to back. For in fact, when you get your prompt right, that's something I'm working on with my children now. The ability to be able to write prompts that are accurate, because when you get your prompt right, it supplies you with accurate data that, in fact, the data that you will get will be almost not questionable. So let's go to the fourth benefit of generative AI: assessment and feedback. In fact, there's a tool. I'm going to open it now. There's a particular tool that you will not be able to see this because, okay, there's a particular tool. I don't know if the Edvest guys, okay. Defeat for teachers. Okay, all right. So there's a particular tool that I use. In fact, there are quite a number of them. This site allows you to create content, and not only does it allow you to create content, you can also streamline. I mean, it tells you, ask me literally anything. And then it also goes on to tell you that, oh, okay, this thing that you're asking me, do you want to supply a video of it? Do you want to bring like a journal that you picked from somewhere? So it will pull everything together and supply you with the information that you need. That's like amazing. So I want to believe that Edvest too does something magical with AI. So what are the other things that we see? AI, generative AI, we can use it for content creation, interactive learning, for assessment. I've listed some of these tools on my last slide. So I don't know. Tomorrow is another day. I will be there. I hope that you are there too. So I'm going to just end by saying that digital pedagogy with AI permits immersion. I mean, it's a place for immersive teaching and learning. Everything about your learner, every method that you use as an educator. I mean, are your learners, do they learn by what they see or what they hear or what they touch? Everything is put together and presented to you when you use AI in your pedagogy. So, like Miss Martin said, she said that AI in education does not replace the teacher and their expertise. The only thing it does is it will enhance our practice. And you know, everybody that knows me knows that I'm very big on improving our practice, because our children, our learners, they are just as robust as functional, if I can put that, as relevant in the society as the information that we're able to harness and have them discuss together in the class. So thank you very much. I don't know if there are questions. Okay, so tomorrow is another time for a panel session. I hope that you will be there, because I will be there by God's grace. Thank you so much, everyone.
years ago, we used to collect the results manually when we come for the open day. But now, with Edvest, the results are sent to us ahead of open day. So it gives you time to look through your children's performance.
We all know the situation of the country about the security issue. There is an aspect of Edvest that is able to assist in monitoring the attendance of my child in the school. Nobody can come to the school to pick my child without my permission as a result of the tracker that is on Edvest.
I remember during the COVID era, my eldest son and his younger brothers had access to the assignment to notes and videos through the Edvest app. Edvest app has a simulation through which, while learning, the children can also play. While playing, they can learn on the platform.
I encourage parents that are not using Edvest to just tap into this beautiful opportunity that we're enjoying in Dancer.
This software is carrying some value, which we have probably not even tapped into 1% of it.
Join Edvest today and stay informed about your child's academic progress every step of the way.
Are your students struggling to engage with traditional coding lessons? Are you struggling to find experts to teach coding? Code Funhouse is here to solve that problem. No prior coding knowledge needed. Teachers utilize our AI tools to make coding engaging. Our platform personalizes the curriculum for each student and adapts learning to their needs. You can track student progress effortlessly. Students earn rewards and climb leaderboards, making learning competitive. Our collaborative editor allows students to code together. And the best part? Students earn badges and certificates, setting them on the path to exciting tech careers. Join Code Funhouse today and supercharge your students' learning. Are your students struggling?
Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change. Greatness. It is what a mother sees.
Are your students struggling to engage with traditional coding lessons? Are you struggling to find experts to teach coding? Code Funhouse is here to solve that problem. No prior coding knowledge needed. Teachers utilize our AI tools to make coding engaging. Our platform personalizes the curriculum for each student and adapts learning to their needs. You can track student progress effortlessly. Students earn rewards and climb leaderboards, making learning competitive. Our collaborative editor allows students to code together. And the best part? Students earn badges and certificates, setting them on the path to exciting tech careers. Join Code Funhouse today and supercharge your students' learning.
Wow, day one is over. It's been an amazing time for Edves Catalyst 2024, day one. Wow. From the very last speaker, Mrs. Bimiga, she mentioned that AI would help for a massive teaching and learning in schools. I mean, if I've not learned anything, that's one key takeaway I'm taking away from today. A big thank you to all our speakers, Coretta, all the way from US. She flew in for Edves Catalyst and she will be live on stage tomorrow as well. We have quite a number of our speakers, commissioners that are flew into Lagos for Edves Catalyst. We can't wait to have you on site tomorrow at Queen's Park. Please be on time. Registration starts by 8 a.m. If you would be joining the free bus service, please check your email. We've sent out the locations, the pickup locations, and the pickup time for all of the pickup venues. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be bigger. Tomorrow is going to be more exciting. We have music, we have networking. I mean, we have a full day for us tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Greatness. It is what a mother sees in the eyes of her little one. It is what we see when we look in the mirror. But greatness is a journey that starts from baby steps to giant strides, from big dreams to reality, and even bigger dreams to be the preferred financial services provider, delivering endearing customer service. Greatness is us serving you to achieve all your goals and become all that you desire. Walk the path of greatness with Globus Bank. Globus Bank, lead the change. Greatness.
Technology has been shaping the world we live in. So in education, the classroom is being transformed by technology to make learning easier. With EdTech Interactive Board, there is no need for speaker, camera, Android, computer, projector, or interactive whiteboard, as it is an all-in-one classroom learning solution. It comes with many features such as the digital whiteboard for writing, change background to suit the topic and attract the learner's attention, import videos or pictures to the digital board, erase and recall content on the digital board, draw 2D and 3D shapes with ease, and you can also save lectures for future use by learners. The EdTech board allows teachers to create games for every topic without the knowledge of coding. Hence, students practice more with fun and interaction. EdTech board comes with 3D and other multimedia learning resources that bring abstract and difficult to understand STEM topics to reality. The 3D video helps students touch and interact with lessons. Use your favorite teleconference solution to connect in-class and out-of-class students with ease. EdTech board allows you build your school's digital library, as all teachings and class activities can be recorded and uploaded on your portal for future learning. You can connect multiple devices to the EdTech Interactive Board wirelessly or with wires. This allows teachers and students to share this screen or mirror the board. EdTech Interactive Board comes in various sizes such as 65 inches, 75 inches, and 86 inches. Classroom digitization is the perfect way to increase learning outcome in students. Call us today for a demo in your school. Technology has been shaping the world we live in. So in education, the classroom is being transformed by technology to make learning easier. With EdTech Interactive Board, there is no need for speaker, camera, Android, computer, projector, or interactive whiteboard, as it is an all-in-one classroom learning solution. It comes with many features such as the digital whiteboard for writing, change background to suit the topic and attract the learner's attention, import videos or...
Are your students struggling to engage with traditional coding lessons? Are you struggling to find experts to teach coding? Code Funhouse is here to solve that problem. No prior coding knowledge needed. Teachers utilize our AI tools to make coding engaging. Our platform personalizes the curriculum for each student and adapts learning to their needs. You can track student progress effortlessly. Students earn rewards and climb leaderboards, making learning competitive. Our collaborative editor allows students to code together. And the best part? Students earn badges and certificates, setting them on the path to exciting tech careers. Join Code Funhouse today and supercharge your students' learning. Are your students struggling to engage with traditional coding lessons? Are you struggling to find experts to teach coding? Code Funhouse is here to solve that problem. No prior coding knowledge needed. Teachers utilize our AI tools to make coding engaging. Our platform